See a wilderness, godliness. And the first thing that Abram do is that he started looking to the world for a remedy for his problem. We also need to keep in mind that this is the book of Genesis. We have to keep in mind that Abram is just like you and I. He's new to this faith thing. And it's just like you and I. Sometimes even as believers, when things come upon us, sometimes we forget the most important thing. And this is what we'll notice today as we study this, is that Abram forgot the most important thing. And we're going to talk about that most important thing as we go on. So if there's no question or comment, we notice that he's telling his wife, he's prepared, in other words. You know, the thing about sin is that before you do it, you plan it out. He knew where he was going. He knew what was there that he may have to face. So what he's doing is, he's heading to the world looking for the answer. And the first thing he do before he get there is to also encourage his wife, let's start lying. Lying is sin. And this is what the world gives, is sin. So now, the first thing that the chosen man by God, the chosen him, and the first thing he do is go to a sinful place, and then he start to sin, to plan sin. But not only did he start to plan sin, he also encouraged his wife to join in. So with that being said, we'll start tonight with verse 13.
Verse 13. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that I may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee.
You notice that everything that Abram is actually saying, he's pointing back at himself, his Savior. Not hers, but his Savior. He's actually putting her at jeopardy. Now, Abram misled and deceived his dear wife. We are doing this for thy sake. That's what he said. Often, they could then make their escape before being discovered, is what he thought. You see, he thought he could tell a lie. You know how we are. We think that we can get away with the lie. But there's one thing I found out about lies. Lie needs help. And you have to get one lie to prop up the other lie. Then you got to have another lie to prop up that lie. And it's just a continuous thing, one lie behind another. I found out something about the truth. The truth is something that stands by itself. So now, if Sarah would lie and claim that she was his sister, Abram would have time to negotiate and reject the dreary offer. They could then make their escape before being discovered. But if she refused to go along with the plan, he might be killed. And she would be at the disposal of whatever man had lusted after her and killed him. You see, Abram had learned a lot of times just like we, that God don't take care of you through whatever it is that you got to go through. If we follow him and be obedient to him, God is going to be there to take care of us. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But remember again, this is Genesis. And Abram is having to learn the exact same thing that we have to learn. Trust God in all situations. So Abram was rationalizing his behavior. He was misleading and deceiving his dear wife, making her think that the lie was for her own good, for her sake. Abram was causing his dear wife to sin. He was becoming a stumbling block to his wife. Now, this was not all. Up to now, Abram in his state of weak faith had only planned these sins. The evil, selfish, and deceptive thought were only a scheme to use if needed. So now the scheming, he ain't done yet. But he done planted a seed in his wife. He the one that done sent the seed to his wife. He the one that's trying to save himself. But he want to make it look like he's looking out for her. And this is how sometimes people do you. They'll make you think they're looking out for your best interest. But most of the time, they're looking out for themselves. So this is why we have to be careful and prayerful. Now, when I also look at this, Abram didn't do this one time as we travel a little further when we get to the 20th chapter.
Yeah.
Guess what? Abram did it again. Now, let me show you something about sin. You see, the thing about sin is sin will get passed down from one generation to the next. Isaac, his son, did the exact same thing in chapter 26. The chosen one. So this is why as parents, it's so important for us to watch what we're planting in those that's coming behind us. Any question or comment?
Hold on. So you saying Isaac was already born?
No, I jumped ahead and I shouldn't have did that. Please, I sure shouldn't have did that. I'm saying in the 26th chapter. We hadn't got there yet.
But see, Isaac didn't know they did that. Unless he had told him.
We gonna get to that. We ain't gonna go up there yet, but yeah. It's just like, it's a lot of things, Al, that you didn't know about your parents because you weren't born. But you know them because they told you. Would you agree with that?
I don't think they would have told me everything.
The question I ask you, is there things that happened in your parents' life before you were born that your parents told you about?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like you scared?
I'm saying.
I know it's true.
Because I know you ain't told me everything.
And you know what?
Told me everything.
That is exactly true. We didn't tell you everything. Abram didn't tell his children everything, but he sure told them something. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure that you have shared something with your children before they were born that they would have never known about unless you shared it. And some of it might not be good sometimes. Because we have to share our mistakes to try to keep others from making the mistake. See, a lot of times our biggest problem is trying to make those that come behind us think that we ain't never done that. We just been Mr. and Miss Goody Two-Shoe all our lives. And then that mess up our children to think they don't even understand. I can't even talk to them because they've been perfect all their life. Not so. So I'm quite sure Abram made mistakes that he shared with his son, hoping that his son would make the same mistake. But as we travel through between this 12th chapter right here and the 26th chapter, we're going to see it all as we go through it. And I shouldn't have brought that up by jumping ahead of myself, but I just kind of wanted to let you know it's not the first time. I mean, it's not the only time he did it again. But is there any question to comment on verse 13? If not, we go to verse 14.
And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptian began beheld the woman, that she was very fat.
Very fat. That means that was a good looking woman.
Very.
I'm talking about she had it going on. As we said, she was fine and good looking. So Abram condoned evil thoughts and sin toward his dear wife. So he allowed Sarah to dress and expose her beauty before men. This is the same thing that we do today. If you want to, when ladies, you know, when you put it all together and you get dressed up, we can look at you and, oh yeah, she got it going on. So, but now the thing is, is that Abram has set his wife up to do this. He said, before the gawking eyes of men. The first time I heard that, gawking eyes. They gawking at you. A question now arises. Why would Sarah not dress to hide or camouflage her beauty? Was she headstrong, unwilling to accept suggestion of modesty from her husband? No, because he was putting out front. Did she want to be noticed, recognized, and told that she was beautiful? Did she want to appear to be sexually attractive? Or did Abram have an alternative motive? That of using Sarah's beauty to attract men and their dreary. Did Abram and Sarah plot what is about to happen from the beginning? This much is known. A woman can dress modestly. She can even camouflage her beauty. If Abram and Sarah were facing a life-threatening situation due to her beauty, it would seem they could have handled the situation by modest and camouflaging her dress. But whatever the case, Abram and Sarah allowed her beauty to be exposed, and they condoned the gawking and lustful looks of men. But this is not all. One sin always leads to another sin. So, now that she's gotten there, the Egyptians beheld the woman that she was very fair. You know, if you didn't comb your hair, you looked it like you just been working. Nothing that on your body fits you, you know, just hanging all off. The men might not looked at her like that. But now guess what? I think it was a plan in this. When we look at the story, and let's keep on with it if there's no question or comment.
Pastor, you know, when Abram told her to do that, man, he was just like, you know, I'm going to tell some of the truth. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just go back to the argument two men had on bread about doing a question black. And then another question black, are you lying to me? No, sir. But then that story was told that I'm not telling you a direct lie because I'm not looking at you.
But it's
indirect lie because my back telling you. You see what I'm saying? So Abram told that, but now that was his sister. You know, but then he said, you know, but he did lie because he told her to do that.
Yes. And as we get a little further, we're going to put this together. But I want us to ask ourselves a question. I want you to think about this. If you want to see a man do something, you let a fine woman ask him to do it. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now that fine, good-looking woman, can you? Yeah, baby. I can be side the road and need some help. Ooh, but well, let's go with the story.
No, please. Please. They're going to go.
Because it's finna get good here. Okay, let's go with verse 15.
15. The prince also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house.
Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Now, they got to be showing that good looking woman here, man. I done laid my eyes on something now. We better go take this to Pharaoh. Pharaoh lay his eyes on. Pharaoh said, bring it now. You know what? What I'm thinking about as being a husband myself.
Come on now.
I can't see what's going on in the house about it. But Aaron allowed a terrible evil and injustice, the abuse of his dear wife, Sarah. For some reason, either because she desired her beauty to be seen or because Abram had plotted the scheme Sarah exposed her beauty before some of the princes. They could see just how beautiful and sexually attractive she was, enough to be one of the wives of Pharaoh himself. The princes did not dare touch her themselves, lest Pharaoh kill them. So Sarah had to be exposing her beauty, decking herself out, so to speak, with the clothes that exposed her beauty and sexually attracted the princess. There was just no attempt to hide her beauty by modest or camouflage dress. She was exposed, dressed so sexually attractive that Pharaoh would want her, not in his harem, but as one of his wives. The princesses negotiated with Abram and took Sarah to Pharaoh's court to be prepared for him. Either Sarah desired lust to be seen or lusted after by men had backfired, or Abram's scheme to get a large dowry for Sarah and make his escape before the scheme was discovered had backfired and turned against him. Abram failed to stand up for his wife. He let the princess take her to Pharaoh's court. We know that Abram did not put up any resistance, for neither the princess nor Pharaoh were upset with him. The relationship with Pharaoh's court was so good that we get to verse 16 that he paid it.
Yes.
Now he paid the price. He paid Abram a large dowry for Sarah, thinking that she was his sister. The tragic scene of allowing his wife to be abused was not all that was to happen. Abram was committing yet another gross sin. This is why it's so important to me that as fathers, as husbands, the people that's around us, the young ladies, your daughters, your sister, your wife, we should let them know when they look at you. See, they don't need to expose themselves for somebody else to say, ooh, girl, you sure is fine.
That's what they did.
Ooh, girl, you know you're beautiful.
They did it for me.
Every one of us, I want you to think about this. You got a mirror? Do you have a mirror?
Yes.
When you look in that mirror, whatever looking back at you, you already know it's looking good or not. You don't have to expose yourself to get attention from a man. You can look, yeah, I'm looking good. I know I'm looking good. Don't nobody have to tell you that. So sometimes in the society that we're living in today, this is why we see so many young ladies unappropriately addressed, because they're looking for the attention, because they walk down the street, they go get it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you dress like that, you're going to get attention. Is that what you want?
Yeah. That's what they did it for.
Well, you can attract bees for honey, or you can attract flies. But there is an attraction. Now, if you got a person looking for a wife, he's not looking for somebody to have fun with, I say. There's a difference between the one you take to the club and the one you take home to meet mama. Because anytime a young man bring her home to meet mama, he done got a little serious, because he know mama finna see right through her when she walk in that door. Same thing with young men. That's why a lot of times young men want to stay hidden. They want you to come see them. They don't want to come to your house. They don't mean you no good. That's why they hide. Because they don't mean you no good. Because they know if they expose themselves to their dad or granddad, oh boy, no, that ain't no good.
What you think about that stuff, Cromwell?
And I'm going to tell you one other thing. And it's good to listen to those who know. It'll save yourself sometimes a lot of pain down the road. But now, is there any question to come at verse 15? Because I was waiting to get verse 16.
I'm saying, okay, well let me say this. Okay? Alright, I'm gonna go back to 12. I'm gonna go back to 11, matter of fact. It said it came to pass when he came near and entered into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore, it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife. And they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. I didn't hear her saying, well, how can we avoid this? I didn't hear her saying, is it a way I can do something where they won't feel like that? He brought it to her attention saying, well, you dress like how you dress. If that was how she dressed, that's how she always dressed. If that's how she looked, that's how she always looked it. If he brought it to her attention saying that, okay, well, how you looking now, they gonna, you know what I'm saying, and then they gonna want to kill me. Okay, I ain't see her say, well, okay, baby, well, I ain't gotta wear this. I could wear something else. I didn't see none of this. I didn't see what she had on, what she had on, until Abraham said, well, look. You look, you know what I'm saying, how you look, they gonna kill me. I didn't see her make no suggestion, well, I can look another way. Okay, well, the women supposed to have a covering back in the day. What I thought. You know what I'm saying? I'm confused about this whole thing, about this whole situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? My confusion is like you saying like Abraham planning on putting her out there to get raped or whatever to another man. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I guess I'm saying something else then. I'm saying it differently.
What are you saying?
I'm telling you what I'm saying. I just read it from what I was saying. And I'm saying like, everything Abram fault. But Abraham had a companion with him that had made a suggestion. You saying, a woman had a right to talk and make a suggestion, but then, she ain't got no right now. It was all Abram now. She ain't had nothing to say now. Now it ain't no nothing for her to say. Well, what is that?
You asking me why she didn't say that?
Women have a right to say something now. First you say women have a right to say something, then women don't have a right to say something, then women say something when they want to. Okay, so she ain't want to say nothing, so she wanted to do it. She wanted to keep her doing dress how like she want to dress.
Come on.
Then he had to say something to her about dressing before. For him to say, you look, it can, I guess I'm reading something else.
No,
I guess
the time they were in. Sarah's not like we are now. Like I could be, women kind of say stuff back to your husband. They weren't like that back then. He said,
that's why he brought it up to her before they even went into Egypt.
Right.
Okay, when he said, you fell.
People with me know her. They know
Okay,
her.
well, yeah, they're gonna kill me.
But they going to Egypt, the sin place where the women dress in different ways, like there has been, it was just a different time. Like if I see my husband scared and saying, look, they can kill me because you're beautiful. Oh, baby, I don't want to kill you. What you mean? I can't help I'm beautiful. I can't help it. And if he feel like really they're going to kill me.
If she loved him, she wouldn't have been wanting to try to go with no other man anyway. Oh, look, babe, I ain't finna be with another man.
Let's read verse 16 and we'll come back to you. 16, please.
16.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait. I need to hear. Look up here, Joy. What is it saying right now? Keep standing. You're going to read the verse. What is it being said right now? Who got entreated? Okay, go ahead. Let's finish that out.
Well, for her sake.
Hold on. Abram is getting something out of this. And he's getting it out of it because of her. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, now let's keep going.
And he had sheep and ox and he asses and men servant and maid servant and she asses and camels.
Let's say.
So you saying he know he was gonna get all of this? What you saying?
I'm not saying anything. The Bible is saying it.
The Bible saying he know he was gonna get all of this.
It's saying what it's saying. Listen to it. He was entreated. Abram wailed. Who? The Pharaoh. For whose sake? Her sake. Not him, but her. Abram showed a cowardly spirit and refused to correct the wrong. You saying what? Sarah didn't say. But what kind of man gonna put his wife, even suggest for his wife, to go on Front Street? Now I want to look at this. He lied and he stole. Now the first thing we'll say, wait a minute, Abram didn't steal anything. Anytime you take something under false pretense, you steal it. So now, Pharaoh was so well pleased. Let me say that again. Pharaoh was so well pleased with Sarah that he paid Abram large sums for her. Wait a minute. Hold on. Sarah didn't say that. Sarah didn't get nothing English. Somebody getting something out of this. Now, it said that he gave Abram a large herd of sheep, oxen, donkeys, camels, and laborers to tend the herd. I'm not going to say an intentional thing. But if we would look at this from a perspective of today, this is a type of pimping his wife. This is a type of that man that had authority over his wife, that benefited from the beauty of his wife, that's telling her to lie, and I'm going to lie with you, and then we're going to get paid. No, let me rephrase this. We didn't get paid. He got paid. So Abram willingly accepted the gift from Pharaoh. Wait a minute, Abram didn't say nothing. Wait a minute, man, I'm not taking this stuff. That's my wife. The gift that was given because Pharaoh was well pleased with Sarah. Abram was deceiving Pharaoh by lying and stealing from him. Abram was cowardly refusing to stand up for his wife and for the righteousness of God. Abram had slipped into terrible sin. One sin had led to another sin, and sin had compounded upon sin. So Abram was in a mess that seemed impossible to escape. From all appearance, he had lost his wife. There seemed to be little hope that God would still bless him and fulfill his promises to him. From the standpoint of righteousness, Abram's situation seemed hopeless, for he and Sarah had forsaken the righteousness of God for the world and its ungodly lust. They had heaped sin upon sin and thereby dug a pit so deep that it seemed impossible to escape. When Pharaoh took her to be his wife, there had been a promise made to Abraham and Sarah about the Messiah, the promised seed. Abram, because of his not praying, his not seeking God, his not trusting God to take care of him in the land that he had promised him, he left out of that land, went to the world, and he took his wife with him, she the one called him to get paid. Now guess what? Abram made a mess. Somebody got to bail him out of this mess. But before we get to who it is, because we know who it is that bailed him out. And you know what? Sometimes we get so far in sin, we got to be ran out of it. We got to be made to leave. We don't just leave on our own. So is there any question or comment?
As we know, like what Abram did, because I can see the thing, like, I got a hat, I got a wife, and I ain't got no money to support my hat. I want some of her out there. To get some to bring back to me so I can have something to get my hat. You know, people do that nowadays. You know, they put whoever out there for them to get what they want because they, you know, of that mindset they got.
And you know what else? Why are we talking about Sarah? Sarah called Abram Lord. The average woman today will say, I ain't finna call no man Lord.
I ain't never had no experience like that.
We're not talking about your experience. We're talking about what's going on here with Abram and Sarai. This here is Genesis once again. This is the beginning of things. There's nothing new under the sun. When we pass through Genesis, when we get out of here, everything already been done. Everything else is being done over again. Sarah couldn't resist her husband. Things were different for women then. Remember, when we talk about the Old Testament, women were looked upon as being property or something. That's mine. And you know what? Even today sometimes, men get caught up in my property rather than my help me. You see, my help me. No, when he start bringing, no man, I can't take them donkeys. Because she ain't finna go up in the aisle with Pharaoh today. No, because see too many other things might happen. I can't see up in there. So no, we gonna have to come clean right now before we go any further. Any question or comment? Any other question or comment? If not, let's go to the next verse.
17. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife.
Look at God. We make messes. We make messes when we turn to the world when we should be turning to God. We make messes when we're not asking God to direct our path and trusting Him to take care of us, to provide for us, to care, to protect us. Because these are the things that Abram will feel. So his faith was weak. Weak faith always leads to sin. And sin leads to the judgment of God. Both the unbeliever and the believer who sin are judged. There are the judgment upon the unbeliever, adultery, Pharaoh. God sent some kind of severe plague upon the household of Pharaoh, a plague that kept him from marrying Sarah. Scripture does not say what the plague was, but somehow the plague pointed to some problem with Sarah. So Pharaoh questioned Sarah and discovered that she was really Abram's wife. The plague had stricken Pharaoh with so much fear that he was afraid to execute Abram and Sarah. He ended up turning them loose. What we need to see here is how we need to seek God. Number one, when things come in our life, we have to back up and look at Abram actually had a good case. Because the Bible said that the famine, he said, was great. It means like, it was like a drought. Ain't nothing growing. I mean, it's like, and you can't get anything here. And sometimes we see things happen in our life like that. We don't see a way out. So sometimes we'll turn to what we think we can see rather than turning to the one we can't see. But God is so good, and he is so merciful, and he understands us where we are. You see, God understands us exactly where we are, and he understood where Abram's faith was. It was weak in it. He understood that Abram needed some encouragement. Abram, you done messed up, but I'm going to work it out for you. So this is why we see here that God worked it out. What verse was that? So now, look at what God did. He said, and the Lord. Now I'm going to show you something else about God. Even in closed doors, God didn't allow them to do something they didn't have no business. He kept her where she could be able to carry that promise that God had made to Abram. See, God right now, Abram's faith is weak. The scripture tells us, be strong in the Lord. So now what God has to do when your faith is weak, sometimes he got to step in to let you know that I am God. And if you learn how to trust me, I'm going to work things out for you. But remember, this is the first man now. He done chose one man, one family. This man got to grow just like we do. Right now, Abram is still the top. But he's going to grow into maturity. You see, and that's what we are. When we accept Christ, we're babies. We grow into toddlers. And hopefully that we grow to be mature as adults one day. You know, so this is what he's going through. Just like our faith has to be tested. What we're seeing here is Abram's faith being tested. And guess what? He failed the test. But guess what? Remember what God told us? Jesus said, he said, I'll never leave you. Why? Are you a believer? I will never leave you, not forsake you. Even when you mess up, I bear you out. But that don't mean you ain't going to suffer something. That's the part we don't like. It's suffer. But sometimes we got to suffer because we're the one that bring the suffering on ourselves. So are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and Pastor, too, without see that neither one of them pray and ask God to do that.
Neither one. Neither one. How many times, I'm talking about us as being believers now, have acted without praying? Because every one of us going to have to do that. Every one of them going to have to do that. We act before we pray. Matter of fact, I'm guilty. Matter of fact, I'm guilty now. Because I'm trying to get out of something right now that I got myself in. That when I look back at it, Lord, you didn't dare me to go do that. But now I'm saying, Lord, help me to get it there.
One time, he kept one phone. I promise.
I need you. Help me to get it right now. So what? I want us to see something here. Every one of us is human. Every one of us make mistakes. Every one of us forget. Every one of us moves sometimes by reacting instead of being patient and seeking God. Because we look at the situation rather than look at the Creator. Are y'all getting it? So this should teach us. This is what the Word of God is for. To teach us how to follow God. To teach us how to look to God. To teach us how to pray before we move. And it's so easy to move without it. Especially when you can see it right there. It's right there. And that's what Abram, he could see. I'm in a family here. I got a family, all my herds, I got people working for me. They got families. All up putting pressure on me. I don't know which way to go. Oh, over there in Egypt, everything is good. We gonna go to Egypt. Why? Because it looks like. Are you seeing it? But now, let's go on with this. I want to close this chapter out tonight, if the Lord will. So let's take 18 and 20, 18 through 20.
And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this that thou hast done to me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, she is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her, and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his minions concerning her, and they sent. And Pharaoh commanded his minions concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. Get out.
Get out. Wait, now you notice this. Abram didn't just say willingly go, you gonna get out of here. Now watch this. And in the midst of it, God showed Abram the exact same thing that you was fearing is the exact same thing that I'm gonna protect you from after you done something up messed up. Can you see this? So now, there was the judgment upon the sinning believer, Abram and Sarah. Pharaoh had Abram brought to the palace for a trial. The judgment and correction, the chastening that Abram and Sarah suffered, public exposure of their lying and stealing. They falsely took the dreary pay by Pharaoh. Public exposure of their willingness to take part in an adulterous plot, an adulterous relationship planned by both the husband and the wife. Public rebuke, not by other believers, which would have been embarrassing enough, but public rebuke by the world, the unbelievers. And you know, they talk about us enough, don't they? We don't need to give them something that's true for them to work on us with, but that's exactly what Abraham had did. Public exposure and eviction from Egypt. You know, the last thing that we want anybody to know, they done put me out of my house. Now, it's one thing for them to say, they done took my car. But when they say they done put me out, because now remember, they had went and set up camp over there. They making a home over there. This is why, listen to all of this stuff that Abram had gotten. So he's making a home. God said, I got the promised land for you. Abram said, I got to go back to Egypt. The world said, oh, you got to get out of here. Public shame and embarrassment. All of the above would add to the shame and embarrassment. Having to return to Canaan and face the trial of famine they had tried to escape. The famine still there. But this time, they had to face the trial, sensing the most intense guilt and failure, feeling the deepest sense of unworthiness, wondering if God could even bless them again, feeling that God would probably never give them the inheritance of the promised land. And that's one of the things as believers, when we really fall and we really believe we love God, the first thing we start worrying about and thinking about is he going to bless me again. You remember what David said in the 51st Psalm when he said, created me? But he asked a question too. He said, don't take your spirit away. Y'all remember this? So he worried about the spirit being taken and things. Abram is thinking, man, I done messed up. Because the thing about sin is, you can see so clear on the other side of it. I'm down in, the other side meaning I done dug me a shown up over here. I'm down in it. I can see real clear now. I have messed up. And then we start thinking about what God done told me he gonna do for me. Now I'm wondering, because I messed up, is God gonna still do it? But you see, remember this at the beginning. God also is teaching us repentance, which is the turn. He's teaching us that I'm going to be with you. He's teaching us that I'm going to protect you. He's teaching us that I'm going to provide for you. And he's teaching us, stay in the promised land. The road that we all have to the promised land, you need to stay on it. Abram and Sarah had failed God, miserably failed him. They had been weak in forsaking the promised land. And tragically, they had slipped farther and farther away from God. You see, when we stop communicating with God, sin starts to move in. And what it does is, we sin and we sin and we sin and we sin. Each one of them get us a little further and a little further away from God. So their hope in God seemed lost forever. They were embarrassed and shamed publicly, not only before the Egyptian court in public, but also before their own household and ranch laborers. Everyone knew about their shameful sin. It was no doubt the talk of the town. The judgment and correction of God, the chastisement of God, had fallen upon the two wayward and sinful believers. When we look at this, and you actually think about it, when we get caught up in sin, and it get exposed to the world, it makes us feel so small. Because I done got caught up. I know better. I knew better. But I didn't act on what I know. I acted on what I thought. I acted on what I saw. I acted on how I felt. But I didn't act on the Spirit guiding me. I didn't act on what God wanted me to do. I acted on what I thought that I needed to do. Now, can you think about the people that work for them and their families? Can you think about the talk? You see, y'all ain't getting it now. You need to see something with this. Remember, Abram is the leader. Remember, Abram is also the spiritual leader. Abram is the one that's leading them to the promised land. And now here it is, they are embarrassed because they look around. The same people that have looked up to you now, looking down at you. Now, I just never would have thought. Because you know how we are. I never would have thought that Abram and Sarah would have did such a thing. I didn't know Abram was that type of liar. You know what I mean? It's so much shame in this thing. And this is what sin do for us. And don't think one time that somewhere along the line sin exposes itself. He have to. He have to raise up his ugly head. Do you know why sin have to raise up his head? Because he have to take credit for how he took you down. He have to take credit for how I made you trip. He have to take credit for how I made you fall. Sin. Is there any question or comment?
Well, you know, with him dealing with Abram and
Sarah.
Sarah, Pharaoh wants some things there too. But now Pharaoh, he by him being the guy fell in love, now when he realized that God had got a fire in him, you saw what he did.
That's the reason that he didn't kill him.
That's right.
It was the fear of God that kept Pharaoh from killing me. Because Pharaoh done saw what God done did. I don't know what that plague was, the Bible don't say.
Amen.
But whatever it was, it put enough fear in Pharaoh to call Abram and then tell him to leave you. He had so much fear in him that he told his men, and you all better not to bother. Get him and her out of here. I want them gone. Yeah, Pharaoh. Any other question or comment? All of us, every one of us, don't put yourself down when you get caught just like Abram. We gonna mess up. Do you know why God is showing us this? Abram is called Abraham, who is called the father of faith. Are y'all getting it? The father of faith, of all believers. And if the father of faith, if he messed up, if he failed, if he forgot to pray, if he forgot to seek God, if he started looking to the world for what he needs, he letting us know every one of us are vulnerable. Every one of us are vulnerable. The difference between Abram and us is Abram had to make the story. We get to study it and see the mistakes of Abram and then not make those mistakes. We take what Abram is going through and we draw strength off of it and not forget that God will never leave us or forsake us. We also need to also see in this that even when we mess up and go to the wrong places looking for the right thing, we think, God said, I'll still get you out. That's what he's showing us here. It's not where you at, it's where you going. It's not all the way you came from. It's good to be that came from somewhere, but we want to make our tomorrow better than our yesterday when we got to start with today. So we gonna mess it up, church. We gonna be overtaken with sin. We gonna get tricked into sin. Sometimes we just don't fall in sin. Sometimes we gonna get in it because we forgot to seek the Lord first. Sometimes we're going to get in because we thought we saw the way. But we didn't check to find out from him, is this really the way? Oh, have mercy. So this, the Word of God, is a learning for us. This is why we are students of the Word of God. And we're learning and growing in the Word. Every one of us. It ain't like one of us different from the other. Abram made flesh and blood and you and I. Abram faced trials and tribulations and you and I do too. Abram messed up and we will too. God took care of him and he will take care of us. The thing is, we need to know our way out of it. Abram had to get ran out. Get out. What? And look, and the thing about it is, he put him out and let him know you ain't got to worry about none of my men. Because the only thing I want is you and this woman out of my kingdom. I don't want to have nothing to do with the God y'all serve because he's too powerful for me. I just want y'all out of here. I want this mess over with. Whatever going on in my kingdom, I want it out, and you to call me, so get out. Ran out of the woods.
Ran out of the woods. And God was showing that Pharaoh thought he had a mouth. He finally realized that Somebody else got more power than me, and I can't handle it, so I ain't gonna have it.
But that, indeed, earthly power, he had to have some.
Yes, sir.
Because now, anytime the princes, they done seen a beautiful woman, and they say, oh, I know Pharaoh gonna want her. And I ain't got to wonder if he gonna want her. And beautiful and fine as she is, I know he gonna want her. And I'm not putting my hand on her. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just talk to her, bro.
They knew what was going on.
And watch this. I'm taking her to Pharaoh because he got some power. He gonna give me something. He gonna promote me. He gonna put me over stuff. He gonna trust me a little bit more. It's something I'm gonna get out of this. But we ain't putting our hand on this beautiful woman. But now I want y'all to see something. They were thinking in their mind that they was actually doing what Pharaoh wanted them to do. But they actually were nothing but some pawns that God would use. God, don't put your hand on that woman. And when Pharaoh brought her into his house, God even stepped in there. That's why the scripture tells us Pharaoh didn't know about that woman. I believe it was verse